Hello and welcome to the city of Baku for round 4 of the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 Championship. Today we are racing around the Baku City circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, the latest location to be added to the F1 World Championship calendar. The circuit was built in the heart of the Baku City circuit with many long straights within the circuit, making it the fastest street track in the world, with the drivers reaching a speed of 330 kilometers an hour heading into turn 1. Joining me in the commentators box for this afternoon's carnage, please welcome NBC-Alcatraz.
G'day guys, thank you for bringing me back into our commentary box. It's a pleasure.
It's no problem. So we are going to have a quick look at the drivers' standings. As you can see, if you don't mind to read them out for us, Alcatraz.
Yeah, in the lead here in the PS4 Pacific Series T1, we've got Aaron L3F4 in 49 points. Closely behind, we have X-Revolution, who didn't show up last week in the race, I believe, in P2. And then in P3, we've got Zach Crichton there, also drawing in P2 at the same points, 43 points there. P4, we've got Slippy there on 39. P5, we've got Crossy F1 on 23 for Ferrari. P6 we've got Swaggy on 21 and Plevs on 20 points there. P7, P8 we've got 40 on 18. P9 we've got VSR Crossarm at 15, and then we've got Schmidt finishing out the top 10 on 11 points.
So we have a quick look now at your constructors' standings. As you can see on the screens now, Red Bull currently lead the way at the moment. 3 points they have of an advantage ahead of the Racing Point team at the moment. Then only a couple of points behind them as well is McLaren. So the championship title, well, the championship side of the constructors' standings is definitely nowhere or has easily been led at the moment. It is all very tight between our drivers, and I also just realised as well Mercedes are in the exact same points as McLaren, so it's going to be very tight to see where everyone ends up at the end of today's race. Ferrari are sitting in P5 at this stage, leading the Works Renault team in P6. Alfa Romeo on 23 points in P7. On the exact same points as well is the Williams team on P8. Haas currently, unfortunately, only have gained themselves 1 point in this series so far, so they are sitting in P9, and running at your top 10 for the constructors' standings will be Toro Rosso. But as you can see on your screens now, the drivers are about to head out for their 18-minute qualifying session for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This is definitely going to be one to stay tuned for as well, because we need to remember the newest patch as well that the F1 games, called Codemasters I should say, have added with the safety car as well. So I think we need to bring up a safety car prediction. How many safety cars do you reckon we're going to have this afternoon, Alcatraz?
With a full grid, I reckon we're going to look at 3 safety cars, just because I feel like all the carnage is going to be quite early into the race, and I feel like it's going to ease out. But also touching on the constructors, there was a driver move that balanced it out a little bit. We did have Aaron that was at Mercedes go into Red Bull, and then we had Sideshow Prod go into the Mercedes team. So that's just why it's all a little bit more balanced out from the previous week, where Mercedes was leading the constructors quite comfortably. But yeah,
it's going to be
3 safety cars.
3 safety cars? Oh, I would probably agree with you there. I reckon around 3 safety cars as well, but it would be really good if we had one towards the end of the race as well, just around probably, I'm not too sure. How many laps is it for this afternoon's race? 50%? I can't even remember.
It's around 28.
28. So if there's a safety car around that lap 20 mark, that'd make it really good as well for the racing side of it, because you would think everyone would chuck on a potential fresh set of softs if they have one left available to them that is not scrubbed in. But a few of the drivers are now starting their first laps by the looks of it. We're going to try and find a driver. As you can see, first driver by the looks of it out on track is Todd, so as he heads through turn 2 now goes the Williams driver. Do you want to ride us on board? Do you want to give us a few tips and tricks throughout this lap, Alcatraz, on how to master a lap of the Baku City circuit?
So are we following with VSR
Todd
or
Star.
Toddy? Sorry. Todd Star? Yeah, that's easy. So as Todd's going into the about to go into sector 2, sorry. You should about flip into 3rd gear around here, which it does, and then you would. This track is quite heavy on the straights, and you want to go into overtake a lot more. So down this second sector, you usually go into high, especially through the castle sector here. You want to just go in nice and smooth here. You don't want to push too much on the ERS as he goes through the castle sector. Now, clean as a whistle. He goes in, about to end into the sector 2, pushing into sector 3. It seems like he was off throttle a little bit too longer than expected there, or maybe he was messing with his ERS, but as he comes through this long triple left-hander here, going into a hard braking zone into a left-hander, and now we're pushing into the, he gets a little bit of touch on the right-hand side there, and we're going to push into the big front straight here, as he would use all the rest of that delta and all that rest of that ERS into overtake mode, and you should push through 7th, through here and then slightly flick into 8th as soon as you pass out, as he does. And now it's just smooth sailing all the way to the start-finish line as the DRS zone is coming up. And hopefully he sets a great first out lap on the soft compound here for Toddy, as he does with a 137.8. Comparing that to Banana, it's a great starting lap there for the Williams team.
Zach Crichton also just put his Mercedes into P2 as well, behind the Williams as well. 0.3 of a second down on the Williams Banana Cake Pie, as you said, in P3 at the moment. The first of the hard tyre runners, but now Swaggy 291 goes to pole position provisionally with the little tow bar that looks from a harsh driver in front. So that definitely has helped or worked in his favour on his opening lap there. He set a time on the soft tyre. As you can see on your screens now. Crossy and 40, both the Ferraris doing a pretty solid job at the moment on their first runs. They're currently sitting in P4 and 5. Curving Texas now, the first of the Renault drivers sitting in P6, who has now just been replaced by Sideshow Prod in the Mercedes. Well, the newly signed Mercedes driver has now got himself into P7. He was briefly in P6, but then Spilly took that position, and now Plebs has gone into P3 for Renault as well. Positions are changing at a fast rate at the moment. Aaron has just got into P4 as well for Red Bull. So 6 different teams at the moment within the top 6, so it's looking pretty competitive at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking quite competitive with all the teams. This track is quite heavy on the toe, so hopefully most of these teams are mic'd up together so they can work help each other out to put the teams as high as possible up the top 10. So hopefully we see those two Ferrari drivers continue to do a toe, because they did do similar lap times at the moment.
Most of the drivers will have just finished their first run, or are start in the middle of their first run at the moment. You'll see a couple of drivers coming in to put on another set of tyres. I'm surprised also as well the amount of drivers that are chucking on the set of soft compound tyres. Currently, the top 10 is all occupied at the moment by soft compound runners. And then in P11 at the moment, it is currently Spilly for the Racing Point team on the hard. So that's quite interesting. I definitely... Well, from Brian, what's your normal go-to strategy around the Azerbaijan Grand Prix race? Do you normally
normal strategy is definitely more favouring the harder compound, definitely starting on the mediums and finishing on the hards. But this could be a similar situation towards last week where we had rain throughout the race. So it's quite a bit of an overcast, but it is Baku, so rain doesn't usually come down, but when it does, it's quite rare. But that's maybe why we're seeing a lot more soft runners out. There is a lot of clouds, but once again, it's just we'll be just guessing throughout the race unless we're getting comms from one of the drivers to tell us that there is overcast or is there rain coming. But sometimes you just have to be forced to use the soft compound and just push into a soft hard strategy, or maybe even the two-stop or banking because of this new update for a safety car.
So we've just had confirmation as well from VSR Roscoe in the Williams that it is going to be an overcast qualifying session, overcast race. So that will be interesting as well. We could see the track be I'm not too sure. We'll have to see how the drivers cope with the overcast conditions as well. It could work in the favour of some drivers, and it could work not as good. Some drivers will prefer having a hotter day. It's just people's driving styles, really. Some people prefer a colder track. Some people prefer a hotter track. It definitely just depends on how they like to drive. But at the moment, rounding out, or the first of the drivers on the medium tyre is Sideshow Prod, who looks like he is doing another lap at the moment on his medium compounded tyre. He's got a little bit of traffic at the moment as he heads through the castle section. Nearly hits that wall. It was very tight and very close there from the Mercedes driver. Nearly took out his right front wheel, but he's going to have a little bit of traffic at the moment from the rock in front of him. He is currently sitting down in P19 and is still yet to set a lap, and he looks like he will be setting his first timed lap on the hard compounded tyre. Extra Evolution as well, the driver sitting in P2 in the driver's standings. It looks like he's starting his first run as well now for McLaren as he heads through Sector 1, about to head into Sector 2 as well for the McLaren F1 team. We'll have to see where he manages to get his car up into. He'll definitely be one to watch as well when it comes to the end of the qualifying session. We've known how strong he is during these one-lap paces as well. He has, I do believe, he went fastest in Australia and Bahrain, I believe, and unfortunately he didn't race at the Chinese Grand Prix with us, so that lost him a couple of points as well to Zach Crichton in the championship, so that's going to hurt him a little bit when it comes towards the drivers' standings point. Oh, that doesn't even make sense. Drivers' standings championship. But it was about to head into the third sector now is Extra Evolution. It's been pretty clean through the castle section for the McLaren driver. Heading into the...
pushing into the third third sector now. Sorry to go through here, but yeah, he's staying into high and then flicking into overtake mode as he's pushing into this big drainer, which we'll probably see him go into overtake as he revs into fourth and fifth quite hard, and now he's going into this big left righter. Maintains all the pace using all of the track, and now it's just smooth sailing to the end. He is still in hot lap mode. He's not going into overtake. There we go. He's in overtake now. Wait until he gets to the fully 8 gear, using all the DRS, and he crosses the line in P2 on 137.3. That's a really good first lap.
Off Swaggy.
Really good first lap.
So at the moment, the top two seem like they have a little bit of a gap at the moment between the rest of the grid. Toddy's sitting a little bit behind at the moment on pace there. Obviously, it is only the driver's first run, so we will potentially see a lot of the drivers close up or gain a lot of time coming towards the end of the session when the track does evolve with grip. Currently, everyone has set a lap time as well. The top 12 have all set a lap time on the soft compounded tyre, so that is definitely going to be very interesting to see what strategy plays out in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As you said, I do believe it is 28 laps, so it's definitely going to be hard if you're considering the drivers will be, well, the majority of the drivers will be starting on that soft compounded tyre by the looks of it, so you're going to have to see how long they can push that out.
Yeah, I think most of these drivers, because of the update, are really banking on that safety car. Because if they're all on softs and the safety car comes out, that's a free pit to get off those softs and go straight onto a medium or even a hard compound and then go to the mediums at the end. But I reckon the entire grid, I think, in what I was thinking throughout my races, it literally just stay on the softer tyre. There will be a safety car 99% of the time because of this update, and you will just get off those softs straight away, as we experienced the other night.
Definitely, as you can see, Zach right now looks like he is actually setting a lap on his soft compounded tyres. I'm not too much sure if it's a glitch or not, but he is currently in no ERS. Is that the same for you? He's currently
yeah, no ERS, yeah.
I don't know if he's trying to
maybe
save ERS, but he's pushing pretty hard on this soft compounded tyres, so I'm not too sure if he's trying to set a good lap here, but we'll have to see what he ends up doing. He's currently sitting on a 1 minute 37.544. Actually, I think he may have just finished a lap, to be honest. I think he's just finished a lap and he's trying to get back around to the pits to set another lap.
Yeah. We have an extra evolution out of fuel trying to get the boy home. Unfortunately, he doesn't know if you flick it into fourth gear, you actually go quicker into getting that car home instead of rocking into second. Zach looks like he's about to maybe setting up. Toddy's also looks like he's setting up. Flick it through. High contrast looks like he's going to finish the lap right now. He's in overtake mode.
He's heading through the final sector.
Yeah.
He heads to the final sector, pretty much, of the Azerbaijan track. He's going to have a pretty nice slipstream here by a few drivers by the looks of it. As you can see, Extra Evolution pulls off to the right there. Sees out of fuel. He's trying to get back to the pits, but there's a couple of drivers off to the left there. He crosses over the white pit lane line, so he kind of does actually have to go in there. Really, the rules are if you cross that line, then you have to go into the pit lane. So we saw that with Kimi Räikkönen. I do believe in 2017 he ended up gaining himself a 10-second penalty, I do believe it was, for crossing over that pit lane line, trying to get that little bit of an extra toe just before coming into the pits at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in 2017. So I think Contrast has not set ideal lap for himself, or wasn't happy with that second time lap, so he's going to come into the pits now and chuck on a fresh set, by the looks of it, a soft compounded tyre, and try and go faster towards the end of the race. But I'm going to set this over now to leader so we can see what the differences are. Currently the top 5 are all within a second at the moment, and there's a little gap between 40 and Plevs. Plevs is the first driver out of a second at the moment between himself and Swaggy in the Alfa Romeo. But as you can see now, a few drivers heading out of the pits. I do believe that is Sideshow Prod down in P16. He's going to have a little bit of work he's going to have to do if he wants to move up a few more positions.
Yeah, maybe he can get a little bit of help from his teammates, Zach Cried, and get a bit of a tow coming into that last the front straight. Maybe they can get him a few positions. But he has been messing around with his setup, and I don't know if he's gone back to having traction control on, because he has been messing around with no TC throughout the week. So hopefully he's still got TC off, but I highly doubt it. I think he's just still trying to get comfortable with a setup. So maybe that's why his times are still quite low at the meantime.
Curving Texas as well is one that hasn't set a very good lap at this stage. He's currently sitting in P17 at the moment. The last of the drivers that have set a medium tyre lap. So he's definitely going to be wanting to move up a few more positions. Also known as our Tier 2 champion as well for the Pacific Series in Season 1, I should say. So he's definitely going to be one to watch as well at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But just talking about the race now as well, so it'll definitely be interesting as well with the new implementation of these safety cars added with an added frequency basically of any crashes or any sort of contact they seem to come out at as we've seen. So strategy, and a lot of these drivers are choosing to go onto the soft tyre, as Alcatraz said before. That could come down to safety cars if you win or lose this race in the strategy battle, so we'll have to see how that goes as well.
Yeah, the safety car is really just a big ticket item in today's race. Like we've seen with races before, that this with a big incident that there'll be no safety car, but with this current update, really turn 1 and turn 2 and possibly even turn 3 at the end of it, a safety car will come out if there's any type of contact or any carnage. A safety car is a guarantee.
I need to point out as well, Billy in P10 for Racing Point is currently in the top 10 at the moment on that medium compounder tyre, so if he's able to stay there, that we could see some potential strategy mix-up here from the drivers. He could be forcing, well, I don't think he'll be able to really get some drivers to go onto the medium compounder tyre, because it's not going to be, it's going to be hard for you to settle out on the medium compounder tyre now if you are in the top 9. And then off a soft tyre run, as he's now just been put back down to P11 as Zephy just completed his lap. He moved himself into P10 with a 1 minute 38.636 on that soft compounder tyre now. So everyone in the top 10 officially is on that softest compound of tyre. Spilly and Jay Schmidt as well doing a solid job for Racing Point in P11 and 12. Contrast in 13 at the moment looks like he is on a lap. He's 4 tenths, or just under 5 tenths I should say, up on his time, so he'll be moving or looking to get into that top 10 area, just around or the outside of the top 10. We'll have to see how he goes for the rest of his lap as he heads through the castle section now. Does the Alfa Romeo driver, clips that curb nicely. He's going to run it out wide here using all the track available to him. Can't put all 4 wheels off the track as well, because you will invalidate your lap time very easily around here, and these curbs will just completely throw you into the wall, so you want to try and avoid them as much as possible as he gets through that corner nicely there. Doesn't use, I thought he would have used a little bit more curb there than what he did, but he heads into pretty much the final corner that actually challenges you to get through. The rest of the track is pretty much flat out now for the drivers. It's about minimizing the amount of turn you use through the rest of the lap and just maximizing your top speed as you head down the straight. Well, the fastest straight there is in the world as on a street track. Is he gonna cross the line now? Is iContrast West is gonna move the Alfa Romeo driver up into P6 now for Contrast. Solid lap from him.
Yeah, that's actually a great lap for him. Unfortunately, he won't be able to go around and set another lap, but for now, only being 7 tenths off the leader is a pretty good time to set at the moment, but there's still plenty of time for a lot of drivers that are out right now that can still jump in.
You can see there's actually a little bit of traffic through the final sector at the moment. Zach Crichton's going to get balked here by the looks of Zephy. Now he does get out of the way. He was getting a little bit caught up there between himself and the Renault driver of Plevs, but we're going to ride on board now with Zach Crichton as he is starting, or about to start I should say, his final lap for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix qualifying session. He heads under the Rolex board and DRS should be available to him right about now, and he opens that very early to get maximum speed all the way down the straight. He's going to head into turn 1 now. Do you want to ride us through a lap with Zach Crichton Alcatraz? Actually, he runs really wide there through turn 1 as well.
Yeah, he was using all of the track really, and as he comes into turn 2, as he clips the apex there, which is great work from it, as he stays in hot lap mode. He's got to probably flick into overtake around now when he gets into his top gears, but he's staying in hot lap mode, going into gear 8 as he shifts quickly down into gear 4, gear 3, using all of the street circuit as he can as we go into another tight right-hander, locks up just the slightest amount, which is fine. He double shifts into 4th, keeps that revving going. He's keeping in hot lap mode throughout the second sector here. Are we going to see him going into high, or is he rides that curve a little bit too much? There's a little bit too much momentum. He is staying in hot lap mode throughout this whole of the second sector, cutting that corner perfectly. As we're going into the castle section, we do have someone that's retired, that is 40. As we keep going, there's a bit of debris onto the castle section. As he rides through that quite smoothly, using all of the track. That might be an invalidation, and it is.
I don't think it was an invalidation. I think he backed out of it because the track map on the right didn't go red. So I think he just was way too much down on his time, because now with the new feature being added with the track map, you can see that if you've invalidated your lap, but I'm going to go back to the two Williams here, because Roscoe looks like he's going to be giving Toddy a very nice toe down the straight. This will be a massive toe, but it could also have affected him because they are very close to each other as well. So this could have affected him a little bit through the final sector, but they are now heading down the main straight they go. Toddy's going to be getting a massive toe here from his teammate VSR Roscoe as they head up to the line they go. There's a couple of drivers getting out of the way. He's getting a massive toe down the straight. He's hitting 350 k's an hour, and he's going to come across the line now.
Rides to him all the way.
He was only 8/100ths of a second up on his time there. He managed to improve, so that must have affected him a little bit through the second and third sector there, with his teammate being a little bit too close to him, if I have to be honest, as they started or ended that lap. But a couple of drivers have now finished their laps, same as Crossy. He has now finished his lap. He's going to have to settle for P7 or worse. Plebs is in the pits. Say that again, sorry.
So Aaron just moved up one position into 9th, and we've got a bit of a toe here that 40's got to get from Extra Revolution for a small amount. Oh, he pulls out of his lap as well. 40 pulled out, Extra Revolution's in. I think that ends it all. That
does end it all. So Swaggy takes pole position for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for round 4 of the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League. He takes pole position ahead of the McLaren driver, who will be joining him on the front row of the grid. 4/10 of a second actually between Swaggy and Extra Revolution. Swaggy being the only driver actually that managed to get into that 1 minute 36 mark. So congratulations to him on getting pole position. Zach Crichton as well in P3 for Mercedes. He'll be alongside Todser in P4 on the second row. Then it will be 40 in P5. Then I do believe that was Contrast in P6, and he actually does.
P6.
He splits the two. Ferraris actually does Contrast, so that's a nice job from the Alfa Romeo team. As we said, Crossy in P7, leading Plevs in P8 for Renault. Disappointing result for him. He definitely would have been wanting to be a little bit further up the grid than what he is. Currently a second off the pace of Swaggy at the moment, so he's going to have to do a little bit of work if he wants to catch up to those front runners. Aaron L3F4 only managed to get P9 for this afternoon's qualifying session and running a top 10. And the last of the drivers on a scrubbed set of tyres will be VSR Roscoe. We're going to have to watch, we'll see what tyres Jay Schmidt, Curving Texas, Spilly and Zephy, well, all the drivers pretty much that are outside of the top 10. We'll have to see what tyre they opt to choose for the start of the Grand Prix, but we're going to let the drivers now head over to the grid for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Hello everyone in the stream. Unfortunately, we've had a few issues at the moment with the lobby, so we're going to have to do a quick restart of the lobby. We'll be back with you shortly. I'll play a bit of music for you guys to just wait, but we'll be back in around 5 minutes for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Stay tuned.
Gotcha. As the drivers start driving out, my predictions for the race are, well, we were mentioning before 3 safety cars. I reckon Racing Point are going to pull away if there is an incident. I reckon they might go unscathed and get a top 5 finish. But my top 3, I believe, is going to be Swaggy that is going to get unscathed, Todster 99, and I reckon Aaron, because he moved from McLaren all the way to Red Bull, I think he's going to show Red Bull how it's done and push all the way back into that top 3 where he belongs. So that's my predictions for the race. Everyone who's watching the stream, leave your predictions in the comments as well, and I'll happily read through them and notify as well Exprit as well. But as Exprit, while the drivers are doing their information lap or formation lap, do you mind going through the grid walk?
I will go through the grid walk, but I'll just let you know my predictions as well. Not that many people care about my predictions, but
yeah, of course.
So I reckon Extra Revolution's gonna win this one. I'll be honest. I reckon Revolution's gonna take it. I reckon he's gonna have another duel with someone. I reckon it will be Swaggy, to be honest. I don't know. We'll have to see how Zach Crichton goes in this race. I reckon if he's not, we'll have to see if he can hold on at the opening few laps. If he can stay within that slipstream, I definitely think there could actually be a lot of drivers that could be within contention for this Grand Prix. If you can stay within that slipstream around the circuit, you should be good to hold on to the person in front of you very easily. But I'm going to go through your order now as the drivers are about to head into the final sector of their formation lap. Swaggy 291 managed to put it on pole position, and I need to point out as well, we do apologise for the glitch as well within the lobby. Unfortunately, it froze everyone on the formation lap and all sorts of stuff happened, so we had to make a new lobby. So all the top 10 are on fresh tyres as well, so that's definitely going to play a little bit into strategy as well, but they are all on the tyres that they qualified on, as they did all qualify on the soft compounded tyre. But Swaggy took our pole position. On the second row beside him, it will be Extra Evolution for McLaren leading Zach Crichton in the Mercedes. Todster 99 will be P4 for Williams leading the Ferrari of 4022. Splitting the two Ferraris actually is Eye Contrast F1 and MP6. P7 will be Crossy F1 leading Plevs, Aaron and Roscoe will round out your top 10, and the last of the drivers on the soft compound of tyre, and the rest of the grid, may I point out as well, are all on that medium compound of tyre, so they do not think that there is going to be any way of getting that soft tyre, putting that soft tyre into the strategy. So the top 10 are really going to have to hope for a safety car at the beginning of this race. Jay Schmidt put his Racing Point car into P11 leading Curving Texas in P12. P13 will be Spilly leading Zeffy, Dr. Dre leading his teammate The Rock in P16, then Banana Cake Pie in P17, Sideshow Prod in P18, rounding out your top 19 will be F1 Hawk, and rounding out your top 20 for McLaren. Unfortunately, isn't anywhere where his teammate is at the moment, so he's definitely not looking too good at the moment in the comparisons to his teammate. He's going to have to try and show a little bit of work, or he's going to have a little bit of work to do if he wants to catch up. We'll get into that top 10, does Romy Alonso, but the light sequence is about to begin for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Going to wait for the light sequence to begin. Welcome everyone to the stream as well. But as you can see, the lights are beginning now. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers, and they are underway. Very quick start from the drivers as well. The Alfa Romeo gets a very nice start off the line, but Extra Evolution looks like he's got a better start. Heading into turn 1, they're going to go side by side, but around the outside goes Swaggy. He gets the move done, and he holds on to his lead. But Zach Crichton's trying to make a move now on Extra Evolution, heading into turn 2, but he pulls back out of it. The Williams MP4 at the moment of Todster just slotted in there. Doesn't look like any incidents off the start. Everyone's has gotten through cleanly. Zach Ryan trying to get some heat into his tyres. As you can see, in P3 at the moment in that Mercedes car 40 has got himself into P5 for Ferrari. Aaron is also making a few moves in P6 at the moment. He's just got that Red Bull. I think he lost a little bit off the start as well, so he's moved up a few spots into P6. Crossy F1 in P7 as well, leading Plebs in P8. Has not moved any spots up or down at this stage. P9 is Eye Contrast and Renier top 10 with a mega start so far is Curving Texas. I was thinking the wrong person. Curving Texas is in P10. Sorry about that. Jay Schmidt's still holding position at the moment in 11th, and Renier top 12 at the moment is Zephy as they now head into the Castle section for the first time around the Baku City circuit.
Yeah, I'm seeing some interesting things from Sideshow Prod and Banana Cake. If you can see that on your in your pod.
Oh, okay. My screen's glitched out.
Yeah, it's extremely interesting. I don't know if they're actually seeing that on their own, if they don't know if they're each other is right in front of each other, but I hope none of them get lucker banned into a wall or anything like that.
Oh, Jesus.
But I'll tell you what's extremely impressive. No incidents in the first lap so far, but remember all the grid is quite close together, as we are seeing a bit of a gap form between 5th and 6th. Is it a 1 second gap already coming into show?
I'm definitely going to go back to the front of the grid. As you can see, the drivers will be starting their second lap of the Grand Prix. 26 laps the drivers will have to do. There will be 25 they will have to complete from now. But Sideshow Prod's actually dropped all the way back down to P20 at the moment. So he had a little bit of an incident there. No, I think he's just dropped a few positions through Dr. Dre and F1 Hawk. He was side by side with F1 Hawk heading through the penultimate corner. And now Dr. Dre's hit the wall. And Sideshow has completely drilled him. So that's very unfortunate for Sideshow. He had nowhere he could have gone. Dr. Dre unfortunately put it in the wall on the exit of turn 1. So now, has that given the Mercedes driver the front wing damage? I would not be surprised whatsoever if he does.
Yeah, that's poor on the transfer move there. It's Sideshow Prod making moves into the Mercedes car from Red Bull. And he's just having a poor time here today, as there is still battling going up at the front of the grid. But it's just unfortunate to see that Side is already experiencing the Baku troubles that you have when you've got no front wing, as he cuts that chicane heavy and lets Dr. Dre go past. So hopefully he can just get that wing replaced and probably go into a hard compounded tyre, or just go into softs and start pushing. As Dr. Dre himself goes into the wall. These two are just having a blunder of a start. But
Sideshow's retired.
Yeah, I think Sideshow just had a
virtual safety car.
Unfortunately, it's not one of the predictions I had. Unfortunately, it was just normal safety cars. But as he retired the car, he should have just waited until he goes to the pits to retire the car like that. But unfortunately, now all these drivers have to watch the delta and make sure they don't go over too much and cop a huge time penalty. I'm pretty sure it's a drive-through penalty if you go over the delta under a VAC. Is that correct?
I believe you get 5-second time penalties if you go over too much. I do believe it's 5-second penalties for each infraction, basically. But I was surprised that we didn't actually see any of the drivers come into the pits. So soft tyre runners are staying out for a little bit longer in this Grand Prix. They don't seem to be in any rush to get off that softest compound of tyre.
It's because the tyres are new. If there were the qualifying tyres, I reckon we would have seen maybe half a free pit there. Because of the VHC, people have to go under a certain time, so it would have been like basically nearly a free pit stop, but not as much as a safety car. But because these drivers are all on fresh softs, we can see them extend these softs to around possibly even 13 laps, so they could even go to a soft to medium compound run because of this fresh. So this restart helped the top 10 more than anyone else, to be honest, if there isn't a safety car.
I'm just going to talk over here real quick, because Zephy and Jay Schmidt, I do believe, just made a little bit of contact. I should say Jay Schmidt and Curving Texas. Jay Schmidt got ahead of the Renault driver, but I think he may have made a mistake on the exit of turn 3, and unfortunately I think he may have actually made contact with the wall, did the Racing Point driver. So we're going to have to look at his front wing here, see if he has got any damage. It doesn't look like it visually, doesn't mean that he doesn't know. So we're going to have to also have a look here at Curving Texas, because they definitely think that they did make contact through turn 3 rather. So we're going to have to watch that little battle as it is spicing up now. Eye Contrast at the moment is the one leading that pack, so he's going to get absolutely freight trained heading through turn 1, as he has got no slipstream whatsoever in front of him, unfortunately, from Crossy F1. But at the moment, we're going to also go to the front of 40, because he's in a pretty nice slipstream at the moment behind Hodster for the Ferrari. Doesn't look like he's going to get the move done though, because Todsa has a nice slipstream from Zach Crichton. No moves look like they're going to be made into turn 1 as Todsa goes fast as Toddy tried to make a move there on Zach Crichton. He's definitely holding him up at the moment, is the Mercedes driver, as they now head into turn 2. But I'm going to go back now to that battle with Eye Contrast. It looks like Curving Texas is trying to go down the inside of Eye Contrast. Doesn't get the move done. Unfortunately, it was a little half pass there from Curving Texas. Spilly now has got ahead of his teammate in P11 for the battle of P11, I should say. Zephyr is still right there as well for Haas. Will there be any moves heading into turn 3? Curving Texas is right under that rear wing of Eye Contrast. Will he dive down the inside? He's a little bit too far back to make a move at the moment. He's going to have to sit behind that Alfa Romeo for another lap. For that battle of P9 at the moment, there's pretty much a one-way line through the entirety of the second sector until you head probably towards the castle, end of the castle section. You can nearly get a move off, but Curving Texas nearly rammed up the rear of Eye Contrast heading into turn 7 there. So that was really close between these two at the moment.
Eye Contrast just doesn't seem he has the pace on the softs. These medium drivers just staying with him. Let alone like they get a huge toe onto the starting straight, but with nearly a 3.3 second gap between Eye Contrast and Crossy, like that's just insane how he hasn't gained, like even have the pace on the softs. I just don't know what's going on today with Eye Contrast.
He doesn't have a toe in front either, so yeah, that's definitely going to be hurting him.
I wonder if there was just a small mishap just at the starting laps where he lost all that time compared to P9 and P8. But as Curving Texas looks like he's going to get the move done here, as he will get DRS, and he does have a better exit going out of that turn, as we see Zach Crichton go into the pits there. And I'm going to have a look to see what compound he's getting on, and he's jumping onto the hard compound tyre.
Hard compound tyre.
Did he have wing damage? No, he didn't have wing damage, so I wonder why he went into the pits so early. Lap 5 on fresh softs is unheard of. But maybe he was just losing a lot of grip. Maybe he just wasn't suited onto the soft compound, so maybe we're going to see a soft, hard, soft thing here, because I don't think the hards will be able to go all the way, to be honest.
While in that battle as well, Eye Contrast also came into the pits for Alfa Romeo. He pulled out of that battle. He had to do a front wing change as well, may I point out. So that's cost him a little bit as well. He's now dropped all the way back down to P17. He's going to be in a little tight pit lane exit battle here with VSR Roscoe on a fresh set of medium tyres. I believe they're 2 laps old, so he made a pit stop on lap 3. So I'm not too sure why he would have gone onto the medium tyres. If I was him, I definitely would have gone onto the hards, to be honest. But Contrast has made a little mistake there heading through turn 3. Nearly put it in the wall. Manages to keep it off the off that barrier. But now he's got Roscoe on right behind him, putting a lot of pressure on him at this stage as they head into the second sector now. Roscoe locks the inside front briefly there. That costs them a little bit of time down this next straight. Under the Fanatec board they go into this double right-hander here. Very easy to lock the inside front and cut it. As then I head into the castle section, the tightest section, or the narrowest section I should say, on the whole of the F1 World Championship calendar. We'll have to see how that goes with this little battle MP17, but I think Contrast is starting to pull away now from the Williams driver ahead, but 40 and Todsa look like they're going at it for the battle of the front battle. X Revolution actually pulls into the pit lane now for McLaren, so another early stop here. He's chucking on the hard compounded tyres by the looks of it. No front wing change necessary for him, so will we see a couple more of the front drivers coming into the pits? I think he definitely would have been reacting to Zach Crichton's pit stop as well, but he's actually lost a lot of time here, has Zach Crichton. He's way behind X Revolution at the moment, down in P15.
Yeah, I'm having a look at the position change at the moment, and the biggest winner so far is Romeo Alonso up at 8 places. Biggest loser today with the pit stop is Zach Crichton on 12. And actually, when we look at position-wise, Aaron's got up 5 positions, so he's up in P4 at the moment, and Footy's gone up 3 positions into second place at the moment. So those are the biggest winners and the biggest losers so far, as well as Eye Contrast actually had to go in the pit, so he's gone down 10 positions as well. So that's what the position changes looks like so far going into lap 6.
As we can see, Jay Schmidt now right under that rear wing of the Haas driver. He's really struggling with rear grip at the moment. Is Zephy as they now head into the castle section. Carried heaps more speed through there. Did Zephy nearly put it in the wall? Very narrowly missed the wall, but he's going to have a nice slipstream down this little straight through this triple left-hander. Will XJ Schmidt, he's going to have to try and keep that gap with under a second as they get onto the main straight to get himself that DRS and also a decent slipstream. He got a bad run out of that corner though, did Schmidt. So hopefully he can gain that all back up through this next corner. Zeffy's really struggling at the moment with rear tyre pressures. Looks like he's sliding around in that rear a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Schmidt get a move done here. Then head onto the main straight through this little right kink. Not even sure if that's counted as a corner, but he's going to have a nice slipstream here. Will the Racing Point driver opens the RS nice and wide. He's trying to get into pits here at the moment, I think. I think Zeffy was actually trying to get into the pits there, maybe. But Jay Schmidt gets the move done. Into P5 he goes. Extra Evolution unfortunately wasn't able to get the move done on Zeffy at the same time, so he's going to have to sit behind him for a little bit longer. He will have DRS though. Heading down this next straight into turn 3 they will go. He unfortunately will not. I don't think he'll get the move done here because he does also have ZRS, does Zeffy on XXJ Schmidt in front of him. So he's going to have to sit behind him for a little bit longer by the looks of it.
Yeah, he used all that ERS to try and keep that position on the front straight. But if he was trying to go into the pits, it's extremely early for the mediums. I'll be absolutely baffled why he would want to go on pit for a soft compound, because the hards, I'm seeing a lot of people pit for the hards at the moment, so they will last until the end. But I wonder why you would go from a medium. The medium's so hard right now. The mediums are starting to be the fastest tire on the track right now.
So who's got the fastest lap? I want to quickly have a look at that. By the looks of it, it is currently Extra Evolution. Who has said it, I don't think he said it that lap, he said it definitely on that soft compounded tyre, but they were obviously fresh before he came into the pit, but they're not lasting very long. He maximum 6-7 laps at the moment for that soft compounded tyre, but there's a yellow flag at the moment in sector 2. I'm not too sure, it may have just been a local yellow. But the drivers are now heading on to lap 8 of the Grand Prix. 40 leads away, I think. Was that someone that just had a little bit of incident? I think that was Romeo Alonso. Was massively sideways behind his teammate as they now head onto the front straight. Go the drivers.
Yeah, they all just went a bit sideways on the turn. Maybe they got clipped on the back end. But yeah, they'll definitely slowed him down and gave Zeppi plenty of room to keep his position. We might see a dive bomb with this hard compound on Zeppi here, as he does gain a lot of time going into it. We might see a move. We are definitely going to see a move done as he settles the car into the turn 1, and Zeppi just gets a better entry out. But he does have the car position in for turn 2, as he will keep this position most likely. Oh, but a side pod contact and puts him into the wall the slightest amount. That might have been a little bit of wing damage there for Zeppi there. As we try and get a view of it, it looks like the end plate's fine, but that would have definitely slowed him down as he loses another position to Swaggy.
Extra Evolution didn't get any damage off that.
Zeppi punts Swaggy into the wall. Did we see more damage onto Swaggy? We've seen a lot of battles.
He's down the inside
it's
now.
It's hard to keep up. Alonso makes more contact with Swaggy there. The left hand goes up from the Alpha. That's basically Kimmy in that car right now, telling him to move over. As we see Romeo just dropping off now, as Zeppi's probably going to see another move done, and Zach's coming into this battle now as well. M40, everyone's involved in this battle right now. Another train's developing from these freshly pitted hard tyres.
So currently the battle leads from Extra Evolution MP4 at the moment, all the way down to Aaron MP12. So this battle's getting very tight at the moment for the last of the positions that you can't get on the podium. MP4 at the moment they are all battling for. Currently Extra Evolution does still have that fastest lap with the 1 minute 41.799. But at the moment, the driver up the most spots is Spilly. He has not made a pit stop yet, as he is on the medium compound tyre. So a lot of the drivers. Curving Texas is on the medium compound. So is Schmidt. Extra Evolution, I do believe, is the first of the drivers that have made a pit stop. There's still that yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's Aaron and Banana Cake. No, I think Aaron and Banana Cake, the two teammates, may have just made a little bit of contact, but there's still those yellow flags. I'm not too sure what they are for. I think it's actually Roscoe Arm, I think, has got an issue here. Actually, no, he's still going. He had a very bad run heading into that previous corner. They were just heading through, so I'm not too sure if he made any contact with someone, but F1 Hawk is in the pit lane, so I do believe he'll be changing his front wing here, as he is on lap 9 at the moment on that medium compounded tyre, so it's definitely way too early. I think he will be doing a front wing change, as you can see it is. So unfortunately, he made a little bit of contact with that battle between Extra Evolution, Jay Schmidt, and Swaggy, I think. So that's cost him a little bit of time.
Definitely a lot of contact. Yeah, there's definitely contact going through this second sector from a lot of drivers. So there's going to be a lot of incident reports that are going to be coming in, as we see Revolution starting to pull away from Schmidt here. And Swaggy's catching up as soon as he started to pull away from Romeo Alonso. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap showing, as we've seen 40 might do a deep dive into Zeppi here. No, he doesn't. He's sitting back because it's quite dangerous to go side by side through this castle section. You're only really going to be one result, and that's got to be a huge crash. Swaggy does push further on split, but I'm going to stay on to the 40 here.
Zach nearly tried to make a move there on 40. Looked like he was trying to make a move. He got on the gas very early through the final part of that castle section. It looked like he was trying to make a move. But Todd's is actually getting a lot of pressure at the moment from Aaron behind. They were actually weaving all over the track down that short straight. Or the triple left-hander, but now 40 looks like he's going to have a move done here on Zeffy down through this left-hander, heading onto the straight. They go. Zeffy has now got a very, very poor run here on the exit of that penultimate corner. Sorry about that, 40.
As we see Zach Crichton starting to make a move before the DRS zone's even there, so he's got a lot of a better exit compared to Zeppi. As we might see a double move here, as Zeppi's been squeezed, so he has to go into the brakes there. 40 just stays on the defensive line, and we might see a move here from Zeppi recovering from that move there.
Zach's in the wall.
Zach Crichton had a very poor engine, Did he get an end plate issue? I can't see at the moment, but we're seeing Zeppi. Oh, a little bit of snicko there, and he slams into Toddy. Toddy's not going to be happy at all. As Aaron makes a move through there, Zeppi just makes an error, hitting the front left tyre onto the wall there, which obviously bounces.
Oh, Zeppi's deep. He's hit Aaron.
Yeah,
Zeppi. So Zeppi at the moment must be struggling at the moment.
We have a lost end plate. Yeah, we have a lost end plate on Zeppi there, so that makes a lot more sense of the downforce. So he probably has to go on the pits now and start pushing onto those hard compound. As we see Aaron making him staying really close behind Toz's gearbox there, as Zach is still trying to chase down 40 there, and Alonso still leading this pack as Swaggy starts pushing on to try and catch up to X Revolution there. But we'll stay with the battle here with Todster and Zach at the moment, the 40. So Zach is just losing the back end a lot, but he still hasn't got that hard compound warm enough to start pushing towards his medium compound drivers of Romeo Alonso, even though it's still 9 laps old mediums. But as we're going down to this long straight, the drivers are starting to spread out a little bit between 1 second differences. Toddy is still only just in the DRS zone, so hopefully he can minimize that space between the two drivers, as Aaron's is right up Todd's gearbox as well on fresh mediums. So we might see a few moves going down here.
Then they head down the main straight, go the drivers. Aaron in the slipstream with Toddy. He's definitely gaining at a faster rate of knots at the moment. Is Aaron on Toddy than what Toddy is on Alonso. He's going to go to the outside line here, but he switches to the inside and he goes down the inside. Does Aaron. He gets the move done, but he was way too deep. Unfortunately, nearly came back on track and hit the Williams driver, but he manages to get on through the corner unscathed. So that's definitely cost him a little bit of time there. It's two Zach Crine in front as well, and as we saw, Romeo Alonso did just come into the pit lane as well from P4, so now he is all the way back down in P12. He's got eye contrast right behind him, heading down this next straight. He will go, and it looks like he'll just hold on to that position in P12 for the McLaren driver. He opted to go onto the hard compounded tyre with 15 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. But 40 is now feeling a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Zeppi had to go fix that front wing that he got during that battle into Sector 1 and 2. But we're still getting that huge battle going on, a bit of a train between Zach, Toddy, Aaron and Crossy here. Swaggy's still pulling away, and he's actually catching up to Texas here. Texas hits the wall, going in through Sector 2. I'm going to double check if he's got wing damage. He doesn't seem to have wing damage, maybe it was just a wheel bump, but that just could be a visual glitch on my end. But yeah, he definitely hit the wall on my view. As Swaggy's right up, getting right close to him, he's probably going to see a move done onto this back straight here. As we'll go back to Zach, and Zach's going to also make a move on 40. Zach is also just trying to make a move on 40 as well here.
It's Ferrari power versus Mercedes power as they're going to head into turn 1. Zach's got a very nice run here on the Ferrari driver. He's going to pretty much get the move done before the DRS is even available to him. So he's going to get a massive helping here from the DRS as well. So that should easily move him ahead of the Ferrari driver as it does. Heading into turn 1, he gets the move done. That's spilling now into the pit lane as well. But he's got a 5-second stop go by the looks of it. So that's going to cost him a lot of time. But he's also got to do a front wing change as well in this Grand Prix. It looks like he's putting on that hard compound tyre to go to the end of the Grand Prix. So that's unfortunately cost Billy a bit of time here with that 5-second stop go, and also having to make that front wing change. He's going to drop right behind Eye Contrast and Romeo Alonso, who are battling it out at the moment for the P11. Romeo Alonso runs really wide through the exit of turn 2. Contrast will have DRS and slipstream down the short straight heading into turn 3. It doesn't look like he's going to get the move done. Alonso's running in overtake at the moment, so he is wanting to defend that position from Eye Contrast, but he locks up again and does hit the wall. So he's looking. Does Alonso actually have any front wing damage? I'm not too sure if he does.
By the view, he did. He's just got onto fresh hards, so if he did pit previously, we might have seen a wing change, but who knows if those hards weren't... it's when you come out of the pit in Baku, the hard compound tyre doesn't... it needs to take a while before it heats up so you can start having optimal tyre temperature, so coming into that first turn, you're always going to... A lot of drivers get caught out and going a bit deep and do get the wall collected, but by the looks of the stream, he doesn't seem to have any wing damage, he just might just not have the pace at the moment. As I've told previously in the stream, you have to lower your front differential to get more pressure, more pressure, and as well as more heat into those hards, so you can be more competitive coming out of the pit lane. As we're seeing more battles up at the front here.
Spilly's right behind that pack as well. We'll go back to your battle.
40 just made a move on Zach just before the DRS as well. So those two just keep on trading by the looks of it. Are we going to see a double move here by Toddy? No, Toddy also made a move on Zach as well. So a double move loses 2 positions for Zach Ryan. As we go into the second DRS zone in the Azerbaijan race. As Zach gets a poor exit there, and he's very low on ERS. Same with Toddy, they're both on low ERS. Oh, he's actually on 0, so he's not particularly pushing, he's just saving at the moment, as well as 40. They're all rocking around 20% ERS, so they're all just trying to push to gain the time difference between Swaggy and X-Revolution, which are leading the Grand Prix so far on the hard compound. So by the looks of it, we're looking at Revolution, Swaggy and Footies for our top 3, but there is still, by the looks of it, basically a 6-man battle here, as Plebs is only 8 seconds behind, but Crossy and Aaron are on the medium compound, so either they're going to pit again for softs, or they're going to drag those tyres all the way to the end.
So Romeo Alonso and I Contrast down for the battle of P11, just made contact heading through the exit of turn 3. Romeo Alonso ran a little bit too deep into the corner, unfortunately puts Contrast into the wall, so that could have affected Contrast's race here. He may have a little bit of damage on that Alfa Romeo car, but it actually looks like Alonso has damage. No, he doesn't actually, it's just a little glitch on my screen, sorry about that. So at the moment, a lot of the drivers, or the majority of drivers I should say, are on the hard compound tyre. Only 3 drivers at the moment are on the mediums, them being Aaron, Crossy and I Contrast in P6, 7 and P12 at this stage. Crossy running a pretty lonely race at the moment, he's sitting in P7. Aaron's trying to catch up to this little battle pack at the moment between 40 Todsa, Zach Crichton in front of him. Toddy's looking like he's going to make a move here on 40 as they head into turn 1 they go. Toddy's going to get the move done pretty easily. 40's going to try and hang it around the outside, but unfortunately Toddy was smart about that, placed his car nicely, but 40's going to have a nice run heading into turn 2 on this short straight. Doesn't get the move done though, but he will have DRS heading into turn 3. Zach Crichton's right there to take any advantages as possible if it comes to him with these two having any incidents, but Todsa looks like he's going to hold on to this position as they head into turn 3. He's going to have to sit behind him again for the rest of this sector by the looks of it. Will 40. He had a little bit of an attack there, did Todsa, and he managed to get it done heading through turn 1, but that's as we were saying at the beginning of the Grand Prix, if you can just sit behind the drivers or stay within that second and get that DRS and slipstream down the main straight, you'll be able to keep with the driver very easily around this circuit.
Yeah, what these mid-pack here between 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, and when 7th comes into the picture is they need to minimise the battling into sector 2.
Aaron's in the wall. Aaron just hit the wall there. He's going, but he hit the wall massively. He hit the wall massively heading into the castle section. I'm not too sure if he hit the inside. He's got right end plate damage there. Has the Red Bull driver, so that's unfortunate for him. That was a missed that was a bad mistake there from Aaron, because he did look like he was catching up to that little battle pack there very quickly. So now Crossy is going to be right in those mirrors now of the Red Bull. So will we see Aaron in this lap, or will we see him stay out for a little bit longer and try and push it for a little while and try and chuck on the softs at the end if he can hold on to it, or will we see him come in for a fresh set, because it will probably stuff his race up actually if he does come in now, so he probably will be going a little bit quicker if he does stay out, but we'll have to see what he does here. Does he come into the pits? He's getting a nice toe though, is Crossy, and he's going to get the move done on Aaron.
He's on 0 RS the whole straight there, so Aaron was going to come in the whole time. Wise move, you don't want to lose too much time staying out with wing damage. And you might as well just chuck on the another set of mediums and just go all the way. So he did. Aaron was in the top 10, wasn't he, at the start of this race? So he did start on the soft. So he's already got his 2 tyre compounds done. So it's nice to see that he came in straight away, because you don't want to give Crossy too much DRS, going into and gaining time towards this middle pack. So wise move by the Red Bull.
So I forgot that Aaron started in the top 10, but he's actually going to come in a little battle here between Zeffy and Banana Cake Pie. So his teammates in this battle as well, but Zeffy's currently splitting the two Red Bulls as Contrast is a little bit too far behind at the moment. He's just come out of the pit lane, I do believe, for a front wing change as well. So he is now on a fresh set of mediums again. So he's pretty much on the exact same strategy at the moment as Aaron. But if we do see a safety car at the end of this Grand Prix, we could see these two come into it as well. If they are able to chuck on a fresh set of soft tyres, they will be very quick towards the end of the race as well. So we'll have to see how those two go. But I need to swap this over from fastest lap so I can see who's battling. Zach Ryan is still 7/10 of a second at the moment between him and 40, but he made a little mistake there heading through that left-hander, mounted the curb, but as we were saying before, very easy to throw the car offline if you do hit these curbs too hard. Nearly puts it into the wall, nearly rubs the wall, I should say, on the exit of that left-hand corner, but he heads to the left-right chicane type corners as he heads onto the straight flat out in a modern-day F1 car. He's a little bit too far behind on 40, but 40 may be able to make a move here on Tots as they head into turn 1. He's a little bit too far behind. Unfortunately, that slipstream effect isn't really working for him. He's only running in low, so he didn't look like he was planning on making a move. Toddy nearly hits the wall on exit of turn 1, runs really wide on exit. Will 40 be able to set up a move heading into turn 3? He's going to have a slipstream and DRS, runs it up nice and close to the exit wall. Toddy's running in a hot lap at the moment. Sorry, overlap, I should say. Overtake. Nice English. Overtake, so he's trying to defend the position. He does lock up the inside front though. There does Toddy, so he's going to hold on to the position through this next sector. He's right under that gearbox, so is 40. Welcome to the stream as well, Master Mike, Cole, Hanko, Darnell Luque, I think that's how you say it. Welcome everyone to the stream.
Just flipping through, we still got that battle for P3 going at the moment, but yeah, Swaggy's pulled away from that group because they're battling so much, and he's gaining time on X Revolution, and he's still got plenty of ERS to use up, whereas X Revolution's only on 25% ERS.
Just Swaggy at the moment, he's currently on 9 lap old hards, 1 lap newer compared to X Revolution, who is on 10 lap old hards. So there's currently a 2.8 second difference between them. So we'll have to see next lap as well to see if he is gaining at all on the McLaren driver. We're going to go back on board with 40 as he's really close to Todd Sir at the moment. This is the battle for the final spot on the podium. They head down the main straight now. 40 is going to have a very nice run and tow down this main straight. As you can see how much he's gaining at the moment on Todd Sir. He's running at around 330 k's an hour, and Toddy hasn't even got to that. He's going to try and go to the inside line now. Is 40, and he doesn't make the move to stick, but Toddy runs wide again. Doesn't hit that apex as we've seen him do last lap, but Zach Ryan behind him just got himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings as he runs wide there on the exit of turn 2 as well. Spilly and Plevs have just swapped positions as well for the battle of P7 and 8. So now the Racing Point driver's got ahead of the Renault. Curving Texas, Plevs' teammates all the way down in P9 at the moment. He's got a little bit of time he's got to try and make up if he wants to catch up to his teammate. He's got Romeo Alonso right behind him as well, trying to catch up to that Renault. Jay Schmidt at the moment running a pretty lonely race in P11. So is Aaron. Zeffy is MP30 at the moment, leading the other Red Bull of Banana Cake Pie. MP14, P15 will be Eye Contrast, but VSR Roscoe and I think The Rock have just swapped position because Roscoe is around, actually heading through the final sector he's about to head into. He's actually in the end of the second sector, I should say. So he is round and he has lost his front wing. So he is definitely going to have to come into the pit. So this has been a pretty unfortunate race at the moment for VSR Roscoe. He's I do believe, was it lap 1 or 2 he made contact? He made contact at the start of the race anyway, and unfortunately that screwed his whole race over in the end. So he's not going to be scoring any points for Williams at this stage. Maybe a safety car at the end of the race could bring him back into it if he can put on a set of soft tyres, but at this stage it's not looking very good for Roscoe and the Williams team.
Yeah, but it's good to see that the other Williams driver, Todster, is still in that top 3 contendership. So at least Williams will be scoring some big points, but unfortunately VSR will be just getting no points today because of the shenanigans that happened in the opening laps of this race.
So Swaggy's got that gap down to 2.3 seconds now, so 2/10 of a second he's gained at the moment on the McLaren in front. I do believe it was 2.5 last lap round, but 40's still right behind Todd, says he actually does hit the wall there on the exit of turn 2. Zach Ryan still struggling to catch up to the rear of those battle pack there. Does he have any front wing damage? I want to have a quick look here as well, just to make sure. It doesn't look like it visually, so Zach Ryan, he does make a massive error though, heading into turn 3, locked up the inside front and nearly put it in the wall, so he's going to be starting to get caught up now by Crossy F1 behind us. He's got ahead of Spilly and Plez, but Extra Evolution still leads away at the moment for McLaren. As you can see, this is the gap between the two leaders. Extra Evolution starting or entering the castle section now, and this is Swaggy entering the castle section, as you can see. So we still haven't seen an actual safety car as of yet, so we could see one. We'll have to see one pretty soon, if not, because if I do believe it's the last 7 or 6 laps. If there's an incident within the last 7 or 6 laps, I don't believe the safety car will come out in the race, just due to there not being enough laps for the drivers to actually race in the end. But the hard compound tyre drivers now are going to be starting to feel the wear, especially I should say the medium compound tyre runners. So Crossy is still lasting at the moment on that set of medium tyres. They're 10 laps old at the moment, so he's definitely going to be feeling it towards the end of the race. Will we see him try and chuck on a set of soft tyres at the end if his tyres get way too worn? So that could definitely be a little strategy call. He may go for fastest lap in the end as well, because he will be on that soft compound tyre and a fresh set of soft compound tyre as well. So we'll have to see how that ends up or pans out for Crossy F1.
Yeah, because the fastest lap at the moment is Aaron. He's at a 1:41.3, I believe, off memory, which was on the fresh mediums. But yeah, Crossy's in a great position here. As long as he gets him within that 3-second range of Zach, he can actually jump him because of the penalty.
Jay Schmidt and Aaron also just swapped position. Aaron just got ahead of the Racing Point driver for the battle of P11, so now he has his eyes on Curving Texas in front of him to get himself back into those points paying positions. It'd be a nice recovery drive for Aaron if he can get himself back into those points paying positions after that little incident there he had heading through the castle section. It was his own error as well, so I think getting himself back into the points paying positions will be a good recovery drive from him. There's 7 laps remaining in this Grand Prix as well. Kevin Texas is still right behind Romy Alonso.
Yeah, I reckon Aaron's going to jump both these drivers here. I reckon by the end of the race, I reckon I'll be seeing Aaron in P9 or even P8 at that manner.
So 40's still right behind Todd. As you can see, he's pretty much pushing him off the exit of that corner, and then they're going to head onto the straight now. They go flat out for the rest of the track. Toddy got an excellent drive off that corner as well. So 40 got a pretty poor run, and it could be the difference at the moment between him making a move and not making a move. He goes under the Fanatec board, does the Ferrari driver. He will have DRS available to him here. He's not sitting in the slipstream. He's now just moved over finally. He's only running in high at the moment, so he's not. Doesn't look like he's going to try and make a move heading into turn 1. He'll try and potentially just try and save up a little bit of ERS and try and attack at the end of the Grand Prix, because I don't think he'll be able to catch up to the drivers in front of Swaggy and Extra Evolution.
Yeah, 100%. On the last 3 laps, he's just been rocking high on the straights and then be going 0 the whole time. Comparing to Toddy, that just has to continuously push, just keep in that position. 40's just comfortable, especially knowing that Zach's got 3 seconds of a penalty. He's just saved from 15 ERS all the way to 72%, and he's managing that really well. So I reckon 40 is literally just teeing Todster up for the entire race, and then he'll make a move when it's 2 laps to go. There's a yellow flag in sector 1.
That's actually the Racing Point. No, it's actually Curving Texas. So Curving Texas has DNF from the Grand Prix, and there's a virtual safety car.
Safety car! No, I need a safety car. Come on!
We need an actual safety car. That's what we need. We don't want a virtual, because we need everyone to bunch back up.
His car is destroyed! Oh no!
What's happened?
Gone, wing on top of his head.
Jesus.
I was watching F1. I was watching Contrast drive past him, and that car, I reckon that is a safety car worthy car.
And Roscoe Arms also around as well, heading into the castle section.
Yeah.
He's about to head into it. Unfortunately, he's spun around again. He's on the medium compound of tyre at the moment.
Now, this is really good for Toddy, this actual virtual safety car. It's actually better for Zach as well, but because of this virtual safety car, Toddy gets to save all of that ERS. He was only balancing around 5 to 10%, and now he's already built that up to 56. So, and now, and 40, because
on
he was at
100.
70%, he's gained it all the way to 100. So now it's kind of balanced out the ERS situation.
And also, Zach Crichton also managed to get himself within that 1 second mark on the previous lap as well. So he does have DRS down the straight, actually. I don't think he's realised that, but anyway, he's heading through turn 1 now. Unfortunately, he's lost a little bit of time in that virtual safety car because he did get that gap down to around 8/10 of a second on that previous lap. So he's lost a little bit on that during that safety car, but 40 is still right behind Todster at the moment. Will he be able to make a move, or will we see any move from the Ferrari driver? He's still running in hot lap at the moment, but Toddy is running in medium, so he doesn't seem, well, he's pretty confident 40 will not make a move into this corner, which he doesn't, as you can see. There's no other drivers really close at the moment, so this is the battle, on the main battle, I should say, on track. It's going to be tight between these drivers when it comes to the end of the race as well.
Yeah, I still believe 40's just teeing him up to the last or second to last lap here, especially if he's just staying within that DRS zone. He definitely has the power to push in front of the Williams driver, so we'll just have to stay tuned on these guys, as there is another safety car. Oh, it's a Red Bull driver!
Aaron!
It's Aaron!
Aaron's around. So Aaron, I think, made contact there with Jay Schmidt, to be honest. I think they may have made contact, but he does have front wing damage again, does the Red Bull driver. So he was looking very strong as well. Actually, does he have front wing damage? It looked like he was understeering very badly through that corner. Doesn't look like it.
No end plate damage. Maybe it's just warm tyres.
Maybe.
It was going to be a great save for this Red Bull driver to try and get some points back from making a few errors, but maybe it was just another mistake on his part, which cost him those positions, and he's lost a lot of time. So maybe just go for softs or something. I don't know.
So Zach's
cool down those tyres.
So Zach's back within that DRS range now, so he's looking pretty quick towards the end of this race. He's already got his ERS all the way down to 15%, so he's used that up very quickly. Has the Mercedes driver, but now 40 actually looked like he was trying to make a move there on Todster in front of him, so Toddy's really feeling the pressure at the moment, considering 40 is still on that 80% ERS at the moment. He's used 20%, well, he's got his ERS all the way back up to 100 at the end of the safety car period, but now he's got a nice run heading into turn 3. Will we see a move here from 40? No, he backed out of it, so he's not trying to make a move on Todster heading into turn 3. He's still going to wait for a little bit longer, or towards the end of the race, I should say, so he can defend that position off on Toddy. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see 40. If he gets a very nice run on the very last lap, I reckon he would even try and make a move on the straight, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that.
Yeah, the move down the straight is going to be where he's going to get it done. But I believe he'll get it done on the second to last lap. He'll get it in the DRS zone. He'll push, and then he'll set his car into hot lap and just push for the whole lap and just defend. Because he knows that Toddy's still pushing, but he's maintained his ERS quite comfortably right now. He's at 57%, where before, when he was doing this, he was roaming around 10%, where 40 was around 50%. As we see F1 Hawk get the fastest lap at a 1 minute 40 there, 0.6, as he is on P15 at the moment. So he's just stealing the fastest lap off Aaron, which could have been a potential point taker before he made the mistake.
Dr. Dre now goes fastest as well for Toro Rosso. A 1 minute 40.0, I think that's said.
Oh, we have seen the move finally!
40 is now getting a move done on Todster. So now finally 40 has got the move done. He is in overtake as well, and Toddy's just sitting behind him. Will we see a defensive move or another maneuver from Toddy? He's going to go to the outside line. Heading into turn 1 they go. They're going to be side by side. Looks like Toddy's not going to try and hold it around the outside. He was allowing 40 to get deeper or be deeper under brakes. So now that Ferrari, the Ferrari driver has got ahead of the Williams. So will we now see Toddy try and potentially do the same strategy as 40? See, we see 40 here now really pushing. He's up into overtake and hot lap. So will we try and see Toddy try and keep under that rear wing of 40 and maintain his DRS like 40 was for the last couple of laps, and try and push right at the very end, or potentially the last lap of the Grand Prix. Zach Crichton's trying to catch back up, but he's got that gap out, so that gap is now extended to 1.0 or 1.1 seconds. So now, unfortunately, he will not have DRS at this stage. He's got to get that gap between himself and Todster 99 in that Williams under a second. So he's going to have a little bit of a push here he has to have. VSR Roscoe, I'm now down in P18, finally set the fastest lap, so something good has come out of his weekend around the Baku City circuit. He's got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at this stage, as he is on 2-lap old soft tyres, so he'll be going to the end on that compound as well. But as you can see, 40's pulled a little bit of a gap already on Todster 99. He's got 0.7 of a second between him and the Williams. He didn't get that corner right there, did Todster. Could that bring Zach Crichton within a second? Doesn't look like it at this stage. Zach's going to be just out by the looks of it. He's actually, no, he's under a second now, so he's 9/10 of a second. It's going to be very marginal when he crosses the activation line. We'll have to see. This is 1.012 at the moment, so doesn't look like he's going to get DRS, unfortunately, down the straight on Todster in the Williams. But Todster will have DRS on 40 in front of him as they now start lap 24 of 26 of the Grand Prix. And Extra Evolution as well, we need to point out, has extended that lead from him and Swaggy as well out to 4.293. It was 2.5 for a while.
As we see this back marker, Dr. Dre coming out of the pits, giving 40 DRS, so he gets to pull even further away from Toddy.
Yellow flag in sector 1 again. He's heading through turn 2, I do believe that is. I think that was actually Crossy. I think Crossy may have had a little bit of an incident. There's a little bit of carbon fiber jumping off that Ferrari. He doesn't look like he has any damage at the moment, but Banana Cake's now making a move on Zeffy. Heading into turn 1 they go. Banana Cake Pie gets a move done, but they make contact there. And Zeffy looks like he's just nicked that wall on the exit. But the Red Bull driver now gets himself into P12 for this Grand Prix. So Zeffy now really seems to be struggling on those 13-lap-old hards. But I'm very surprised as well. Extra Evolution also on 18-lap-old hards at the moment. Todster's on 17, so is Swaggy. And everyone else is pretty much... Oh, he's actually hit the wall now, has Zeffy. So he's in the wall massively heading through turn 3. So he hit the inside curb massively and it threw him into the outside wall. And I think he definitely will have a lot of front wing damage now because Eye Contrast is right behind him as well. So he will most likely get a move done on the harsh driver in front of him.
Yeah, he's just got to eat him up right now. As 40 has literally pulled a 1.2 second gap. Does 40 know that Swaggy has, I believe, a 3-second time penalty? He does have a penalty, Swaggy does, so maybe 40 knows that he can push and get into that 3-second gap and still P2.
The drivers are now starting their penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, lap 25 of 26. So Extra Evolution actually lost a little bit of time there. He's now got that gap down to 3.9, has Swaggy, so he lost a second and a bit on that lap alone. So did we see a little mistake potentially from Extra Evolution? Because I don't think Swaggy would have pulled 1.1 seconds out of Extra Evolution on 18-lap-old hards, but maybe
Swaggy has made an error. He's lost an end plate.
He's lost an end plate.
Yeah, he's lost his left left end plate there.
So that's definitely going to allow 40 to catch up to him.
Yeah, we might see a jump into P2 here, or even, because Toddy doesn't have any penalties either, potentially a double jump.
Todster at the moment still sitting at 1.7 seconds between himself and the Ferrari in front. Zach Ryan's still struggling to catch up. He's just backed off at the moment. He's got that gap out to 2.9 seconds, I should say. Then it's the medium compound driver of Crossy F1. He's on 17-lap-old mediums at the moment, so those tyres are going to be screaming to get off that Ferrari car at the moment. They are not going to be very healthy at all. Spilly at the moment on 13-lap-old hard, so he'll be looking pretty quick. If Crossy makes any mistakes here, Spilly will be right on him, but now the Rock and F1 Hawk look like they're making a move because F1 Hawk's actually just had to come into the pit lane to serve a 5-second stop-go penalty by the looks of it. He'll be trying to go for fastest lap. I believe at this stage it is still Roscoe Arm that has that fastest lap. I will check that for you now. It is Roscoe Arm with a 1 minute 40.004. But now, as you can see, Extra Evolution starts his final lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I can't remember. What was your prediction for the race? Mine was definitely Extra Evolution to win the race.
Mine was Swaggy, Todster, and Aaron. Aaron was my wild card because of the, I would say, demotion into Red Bull with the driver swap. I thought he might have proved himself to get those positions back, but unfortunately, he was one of the drivers that just had a bad day. And Todster into P4. That isn't too bad from my P2, but yeah, Extra Evolution. What a great call that you had. He's been comfortably leading this Grand Prix. He did have an 8-second gap. He's leading to 4, so 20-lap-old hards, and Zach's 21-lap-old hards. But yeah, great tyre management from these top 5 drivers. I'm going to interrupt you here real quick because Romeo Alonso and Jay Schmidt are battling it out at the moment. Schmitty just got ahead of Romeo Alonso heading into turn 1. He broke much deeper than the McLaren driver and he got the move done on the McLaren. So he has now got himself into P9 and he will at this stage take home 2 points. 2 championship points to add to his championship tally. Contrast and Banana Cake have just swapped positions as well. So Contrast now has got himself into the top 12 for Alfa Romeo. Unfortunately, no points are awarded for top 12. But Extra Evolution now
is about to get onto the final straight for the Grand Prix. He's led pretty much the whole way of the race. He's been the quickest by the looks of it. He's on 20 lap old hards. Hasn't had much racing, to be honest, so it's going to be a pretty boring win for Extra Evolution, but he's going to definitely get a lot more points after that race he had at the Chinese Grand Prix. Not racing, unfortunately, so that cost him a lot of points, but he does win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for the race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series. Swaggy's going to come home P2 in this Grand Prix, but will time penalties come down to it in the end? No, there's going to be a 1.1 second difference between himself and 40 in the end after time penalties, so that was really close. If 40 managed to push a little bit more at the end, as you can see his ERS was very low at the end, so unfortunately he was not able to get the move done after time penalties. But now Todd's also come home P4 for Williams, leading Zach Crine in P5, Crossy in P6 for Ferrari. P7 will be Spilly in Racing Point, leading Plebs, who actually splits the 2 Racing Points in P8 at the moment for Renault. P9 will be XXJ Schmidt, and and then Romeo Alonso will come home P10 in the end. I think Romeo Alonso actually managed to get Jay Schmidt on the final straight there, but after time penalty, Schmidt managed to get that position back into P9. He maintained. Aaron's going to come home P11 for an unfortunate result for him in the end. After making those couple of mistakes, he was looking good for a potential podium in the end, at the end of the Grand Prix, but unfortunately with those couple of mistakes through the castle section, that cost him front wing damage, and he had to pit, I do believe, 3 times in that Grand Prix, so that's unfortunate for him. By contrast, will come home P12 for Alfa Romeo, splitting the 2 Red Bulls of Banana Cake Pie, and Aaron Zeffi will come home 14th for Haas, leading the Rock, F1 Hawk, and Dr. Dre and VSI Roscoe. And unfortunately we only had 2 retirements in this Grand Prix, them being Curving Texas and Sideshow Prob.
My biggest shock that there was no safety car.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. There's virtual safety cars, but absolutely no actual safety cars.
I'm completely disappointed about this race. I'm completely disappointed about this race.
So I was definitely hoping for at least like one actual safety car so that it could bunch everyone back up. But
yeah, but it's great work that all the drivers were clean-ish after the first opening laps, but then yeah, no safety car, just a couple of VHCs. But yeah, well done to X Revolution. That boosts you up quite nicely into the drivers' standings there. So you go back into P1 for the driver standings. So that's great work by X Revolution. Gets his P1 spot back.
So I do believe as well, who was leading the chat? It was Zach. So he's going to be dropping a bit of points here, considering he finished P5. So X Revolution will go to the top of the standings. Zach Crown will sit in P2. Who's currently sitting P3 at the moment in the standings?
Zach Crichton was leading. Was coming third. It was Aaron that was leading the championship on
it was Aaron.
49 points. But with no points, that's definitely going to hurt him for the driver standings right there.
So that's definitely going to spice up the championship standings for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I'm not even sure what the next race is. What's normally after Azerbaijan? I think it's Spain, isn't it?
Spain.
So
this is the number.
Yeah, so the Spanish Grand Prix will be the next race of the calendar for the race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League. But that has been your Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I do thank you massively as well at NBC-Alcatraz for joining me in the commentary box this afternoon.
Always a pleasure.
But I will see you guys next Tuesday as well, 7 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. But for now, my name is Exprit, and I will see you guys next time.
I don't know what you